what I get worried about with judging is that if I'm trying to adhere to some system or something, then people are going to want to adhere their breaking to that system. And I don't want to hinder that, you know, like as if I was judging painting, right? And I just happen to really like the color red. So then a bunch of people start painting with red. Now the only people that are winning, the whole scene is painting with red. Whatever happened to the people that were painting with blue or green or whatever? And it's all because the judges just decided, hey, red is the thing that we like the most.
And that's honestly, that's what it is now.
I mean, I think that's what happens.
You just opened my mind in a complete different and that's what I'm like,
that's exactly what I say. The judges matter because whatever
it matters.
Whatever, it's going to dictate what the B-boys choose.
That's
but he simplified it with colors.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to patient zero of this rotting infection of the internet. Press the like and subscribe buttons to help this infectious podcast spread. I am Kurt the Hurt, the king of the dirt, your host of the Noise of the Broke Boys podcast, here with my boy Livic and the secret behind the scenes producer, Mr. Translate. He's silent though. Today's guest is a rapper and music artist as well as a b-boy, my boy King Wavy, aka Young King. Also King, grown-ass King. What's up?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, man? What's up?
That intro was fire.
Yo, dude, I'm glad you can come through, man.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I've always known you as a b-boy and a dope b-boy. Like one of the best up-and-coming of your time in this area for sure. And you know, now you're like rapping too, so it's like kind of crazy to see like how much stuff you're doing now. Can you talk a little bit about like how you got into rapping?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was a family thing. Like my dad, he was a musician. My big brother is a musician, and my little cousin is a musician. And not too long ago, my little cousin, he got signed to a label.
Okay.
Oh.
And I went to one of his concerts. He was like, bro, you always been kind of good at rapping. Why not try it and see where it goes? And ever since, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And then I wrote my first song, Batty. And
oh, that was your first song?
That was my first song
dang,
ever.
That's kind of crazy.
And it went smooth. It was, okay, I like it.
Your video is tight. It's got like hella views too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And that's the thing too, you know, I try to put my creative process behind everything I do. You know, it's like I like to see it a lot like b-boying, you know. With b-boying, we train really hard to be original and come up with our own concepts and ideas. And I think it's the same in terms of my visuals. I want to be different, you know. So.
And so you make your own music videos and stuff too, right?
Well, I pretty much direct them myself, come up with the concepts myself. So, you know, it's all 100% me most of the time.
And then you work with a couple different music producers.
Oh, yeah. I got a few friends. Yeah, like my homie Omer in Europe. He's a young guy that makes beats, and he's always plugging me. He's
tight. Have you done any collabs with like your family?
I haven't done any collabs yet with anybody. I really just want to like hone my skill first. Okay. And then collab with the fam after that, you know.
I see.
So you think you're still growing, like?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm still finding my sound. You know, and still dissecting the way I want to, I guess, interpret. You know, interpretation.
How would you describe your sound? Like, what would be a good word for it? A couple words.
It's just a vibe.
The vibe, yeah.
Vibe, you know.
Yeah, no, I listen to your music like all the time. I think it's really dope.
Thank you, bro.
Because I've known you for a long time just as a b-boy, and I was like, oh, this fool makes music too. And
I was surprised too, man.
So. I mean, that's tight. I always like seeing b-boys like coming into different areas of art and really thriving in it. So I think it's really cool. And you know, I kind of have this I don't know if it's a hypothesis or what, that the creativity that you've learned in dancing translates to kind of everything else in your life. So that's why I feel like a lot of artists, you see them do really well in a lot of different industries, and it's because creativity can kind of be used in all those different industries in some form or another. And so, you know, breaking, I think maybe not uniquely, but we really hone into the skill of being creative, and so it's kind of like we're already pretty good at that, and so going into something else, it's like, okay, now let's see what happens.
Because honestly, with breaking, it takes a special type of dedication, you know? And I think it really does take a special person to be able to do what we do, you know? I feel like it really is a God-given talent, because if everybody could do it, they would be doing it. If they could move like us, fly like us, you know?
Yeah, no, you know what?
You have to have a creative mind to honestly do it.
I mean, you need to have a strong will too, because like you're not going to be good for at least like 3 to 5 years or something.
Well,
and
I don't know now. Now
I mean,
it's different.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But definitely you're not going to be good on your first day, and definitely not on your first month, probably not on your first year. It's going to take you a little bit, and you're going to be crashing your ass off.
I agree.
And so it's like you need to be strong enough to push through all that before you can really like
hone your creativity,
hone the skills.
I agree. To like
It's
you guys say, nowadays you can go on YouTube and learn all the moves you want.
Yeah.
But in terms of really creating your own in this dance, it's gonna take you a long time to really understand you're creating something different, really studying people and seeing what's been done already. You know?
And it's all connected too. You know how breaking, you have your own flow, and even in rapping, you have your own flow. And then that's what it makes you different. Like, oh yeah, he has a different type of flow, or the way he's writing, it's different. They're concepts. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, do you freestyle when you get in the booth, or do you just, how is your writing?
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all in on my secret. This is how I make my songs. Is literally I'll turn on a beat that one of my friends sends me, and it's like I'll hum to it.
Oh yeah.
I'll hum to it and find a certain tempo to it. And then with the hum, I'll start to put words together. And like you said, I'll be freestyling the words. I'll come up with a hook, you know. And literally, I'm recording myself the whole time. So a lot of people don't know, like, all my songs are pretty much freestyle. Just me recording over it.
Yeah. So you just kind of like rerun it and go, okay, I like that last hum pattern. Let me put some words to that.
Exactly.
And you figure out, like, I guess the syllables and whatever that's gonna work for
Oh,
that.
so you don't write bars, you just go with the melody.
Yeah, I go with the melody of the song. So it's more melodic. It's more of a melodic feel. When it's like a nursery rhyme. When you hear a nursery rhyme, right? It's gonna stick in your head instantly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Actually, I heard that's how Michael Jackson used to write a lot of his music. He wouldn't write it. He would just start singing. He'd hear a song and just start singing, and he's like, okay, this is gonna be the next song now, so we're gonna figure out how to do it.
And that's the thing what Livy said.
My mom painted this, by the way. All of these ones, actually.
That's amazing.
Shout out to your mom, man.
Shout out to moms. But how Livik said though is like you just adapt the flow. You know, it's a lot like breaking. We listen to the beat, we just vibing. It's the exact same thing for my formula of music. I listen to the beat, I just vibe with it. You know,
dancing with your mouth, dancing with your soul.
Facts.
You should always dance with your soul.
And you're manifesting those words that you want to express. And that's the hardest thing when it comes to like rapping, because I feel like you're trying to make that person feel and get them to a certain state. And even though you're rapping it, they have to hear it that way. So it's hard to combine those two things, to touch someone while you rap and what you're saying.
Right, and have it make sense. You know, like nowadays, you know, a lot of, no offense to any mumble rappers out there or anything, but you know, mumble rap is such a thing, and you could say whatever, and it sounds cool and tight sometimes when you just want to get turned up and vibe out. But sometimes you really do want substance behind what you're doing. You know, and I feel like that's really important. I want substance behind what I'm doing.
Yeah, mumble rap is an interesting thing to me. I had a long actual conversation with this guy in our podcast. Check it out, episode like 30 something, 36, 35, something like that, about mumble rap, because it's such a weird thing, because I feel like a lot of people were like trying to do something different with it, and I think they were successful in that endeavor, and it kind of divides the hip hop community, like, oh, this stuff is tight, or oh, this stuff is whack. But I go, some of it's good, some of it's bad, just like all the other stuff.
Music.
Yeah, just like all of it. And so, you know, but I don't like discluding it from hip hop, because I do think it's hip hop. It's like for sure a piece of it, because the same soul that we build all of our other stuff from, they did the same thing.
Literally, like our generation, you'll be like, what? You know, kids will ask us who's our favorite rappers. We'll be like Biggie, Pac.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you ask a kid his Future. You know, so it's literally it correlates. You know.
Yeah. He changed a lot of styles too. Like the way he he innovated a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's what everybody's doing. That type of melodic.
That's
melodic sound, right? Yeah. You have to elevate with the times, just like anything.
And you know what I feel like? I don't know if you know who Pink Floyd is or
Pink Floyd is,
but that's that Pink type. Floyd. Yeah, that's that type of era. And that's what they were doing, and people didn't understand it at that time. And it's the same thing I think that's happening now. It's very more deep into thought and music. So, and it's dope.
It is dope because, you know, in the 90s, it was definitely more of a rugged type of intense aspect to it. I feel like now, like you say, a lot of artists are really in touch with their inner emotions and don't care about expressing that, you know? So
yeah, no, I was actually comparing a lot of like contemporary hip hop and a lot of mumble rap to like punk rock, because it was like that same sort of feeling of like they're getting emotional but doing it like kind of in a different way, using a different sound to do it. That's I think exactly
that's what you feel when you go to concerts like that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a couple people and it's just like they go ham.
Yeah. So I mean, in general, I like it. I like the sentiment behind it. There's definitely good stuff and definitely bad stuff, but I like the sentiment.
Because sometimes you do want to just put on some crazy stuff and just turn up with the boys. You know?
Yeah.
So
you need that.
There's
always been music like that. I mean, like some old Temptation songs and things like that. They were turning up to that stuff. I mean, you listen to it. There was an old Dave Chappelle sketch of what's his name? Damn it.
I don't know.
I'm forgetting his name now. Nat King Cole. And he's like singing the song, and then the girl, he starts singing, and then he just starts pouring champagne on her.
Oh,
do you remember that?
I know what you're talking about.
He's just like, he's singing a Christmas song, and he's like, "Merry Christmas, you filthy bitch," and he just pours this champagne. and Dave Chappelle was just like, "Yeah, they've always been doing crazy stuff. It's just different now.
It's just different now."
Yeah,
you know, they interpret it in a different way. You know?
I think it's way more open now. Way more open.
For sure. Yeah.
So even language or anything.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, cool. I'm curious, like how you feel the rapping world kind of intersects with breaking. I know that we talked a little bit about it, like in the creativity realm, but is there any direct correlations where that you can point to in the sense of obviously creation process, but like I guess like where do those worlds connect?
When I hop in the booth, I think of it like a battle.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's like I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna give it all I got. You gotta put the intensity behind it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're an artist, you want, like Livy said, you want people to feel your words. You gotta make people believe in the words you're saying. You know. So I feel like it's that same intent with breaking. When you're battling, we're not hesitating on our moves. We want people to believe in our movement. You know.
Okay.
So it's the same thing when I'm in the booth. Like, no hesitation, just go in there, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta blow up the spot.
Yeah, you gotta blow up the spot.
Actually, I talked to Bush in another episode. Marty Bush, shout out.
Shout out to Bush, man.
I forget which episode that was. But he was saying when he collabs with someone, he thinks of it as a battle between him and that person, because he gets the best people on and he wants to blow them up. And same thing, they want to blow him up on the track. Right. And so he feeds off of that energy, and it makes for some of the best songs, I think.
It does. So, because you're creating that atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like with
a cipher.
Yeah, literally, it's a cipher. You know, so same thing with breaking. You in that cipher, somebody call you out, you know what to do. You know?
Bring it.
Yeah, you bring it.
Yeah. So it's that same energy that you feel in a booth. That's tight. Yeah. No, I always suspected that was the case, but it's good to understand that is the case.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's like, well, all art forms, it's different ways of expression, but your I guess approach could be the same, you know?
Yeah. I've always said that art kind of comes from like your soul, like it comes from like an emotion you have, and the medium that you use is really just like your tools to make it happen. And so that's why I think intuitively creative people are kind of good at it all, because they can because they're in tune with the emotions, the emotional side, and the soul and character that makes their art well. They're already in touch with that stuff. So then when they move to a different medium, it's learning how to use those tools. You know, like the same way, like my mom is really good with watercolor, but she can also paint acrylic paint, oil paint. she can do sculpture and stuff, you know, and it's really because she already knows how to do a lot of this stuff.
The foundation,
you know, and then she just applies those new skills to these other things. So I think that's the case of all art, because I see a lot of musicians, like a lot of musicians and dancers kind of collide a little bit, because I feel like dancing has so much to do with music timing and stuff like that. So you already understand how music is composed in kind of like a, I don't know, intuitive way, I guess. Yeah, and so then when you come into that world, you're like, okay, now I'm making the stuff that I would dance to. I already know kind of how it needs to sound.
That's another thing too, like you guys said, being tapped in with this generation, is you know what people want to listen to as well. You know, you know what kind of sound to kind of approach with, you know? And that's another thing I like to do too, is I want to cater to everybody. Okay. If you like a dope MC, I guess hit you with some bars. You like melodic rap, I can hit you with some melodic hooks. You know?
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I know you're from the era where you knew about the old school breaking and the new. You're like in the middle. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, in my era of breaking, it hurts me sometimes when these young guys my age don't really know about the history of breaking, you know? Because especially, you know, in Sacramento, we're really rich in history. Yeah. You know, you asked me about the OGs. I know about all the OGs, what crews they was in, you know, what they really gave to our scene. And you ask guys in other scenes that, they be like, I don't know.
Who's that guy?
I don't know who that is. You know, oh, they ain't that an OG? Oh, I never seen him before. You know, I'm like,
it really is that.
Yeah,
it really is that.
You know, and honestly, I can't blame them, because there's like a lot of that stuff is not on the forefront of it. Like, you don't see Red Bull BC1 showing the OGs. They don't give a fuck. No disrespect to them, but like that's not important to them as a brand. Like, they're not gonna sell more sodas or whatever. They're not gonna sell more drinks because they put an OG down. But when all of the social medias kind of followed from that, a lot of people, you know, that are coming into it now go, oh, like, I don't know. But it's like the older people that do know who it was before, like all these other companies and social media was involved with it, they're going like, that's the guy though. Yeah, like Gerald, like that's the guy.
That's the guy.
Like that's the guy right there. Real. Like none of us would exist if that guy
wasn't doing what he was doing. You know, Rocksteady. You know,
it's like
literally.
Like,
he went out to New York and he killed it.
Murdered everything.
Yeah. So it's like we need and I feel like that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this podcast, is put more of the underground people like on the scene that like inspired me,
that deserve it, people. You know, that deserve the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, because they need to be known. I mean, I always talk about Tony the Tiger from Mad Action Crew and Hit Squad, because he's like huge inspiration to me, and like freaking nobody knows that guy. Like no one talks about it. I say Tony the Tiger, like that Tiger dude on the freaking
that's the sad part, because you know, like you say, me being the in between, I feel like it's my job to pit the younger guys on to these guys that paved the way.
It's all of our jobs. I honestly used to lose sleep because I was realizing that I'm not doing anything to like continue to like push stuff like that, and so I was like, dude, I need to do something, and that's how this podcast came about, because I just felt like if no one's doing it right now and I don't do anything, I'm just being part of that problem. So I just need to start it.
Right, because if you know the issue and you sitting there watching it,
I'm watching it go
you're
by.
the issue.
Yeah, you're the issue.
You're the issue.
You're for real the issue. I mean, the issue is very widespread for sure, but like I don't like being part of it. So let me try my best to do.
And you're doing it, bro. Yeah, you know, you guys are doing it.
And plus, and we could even talk about that with the Olympics too, because you're young. And are you like, what do you think? What are your thoughts about the Olympics? Because I know it's giving you an opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And I've been talking with a lot of OGs about it, you know, and there's a lot of mixed feelings. But honestly, in my opinion, for me, it's not about me. It's about the kids under me that's going to have an opportunity to get these sponsorships, you know, to really give back to the scene. And you know, it could open up so many doors and gateways, just like it's a Red Bull team. It could be a Frosted Flakes team. It could be a, you know, like I don't know. I feel like it's
Preparation
really
H team.
Yeah,
Kleenex team.
Literally. A Rite Aid team, you know, or Team Walmart. Team Walmart. So, you know, I just feel like it's a dope opportunity for the young guys that really push, you know. And like I said, thank you to all the OGs that made this possible. It wouldn't be possible. this was a street dance, you know,
Exactly.
73, you know, so for it to come this far, it's amazing. It's a blessing, honestly.
I think the Olympics is a really cool opportunity because it's showing the dance to a group of people that probably don't even know.
And display art.
And it's going to display, like, who watches the Olympics? It's not like young people. It's your grandma and whatever. Like, they're going to see this and be like, oh, what the heck is this?
Literally.
This is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know this existed, but there's like all these people that are super good at it, and it's all over the world. They're going to have a big opening. Their eyes are going to get open. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to change the people in the scene. I think it's going to change how people outside
view
the
it.
scene look at it.
Right.
They're going to have their eyes open
Outside
to
in.
Yeah. And so, and I think that means there's going to be probably a surge of maybe new people that come into it.
I agree.
There's probably going to be a surge of brands and stuff that want to become friendly to it. And I think there's also going to be challenges that come along with it. You know, obviously like brands are going to come and be like, okay, I need you to, you know, dress up in the Mickey Mouse costume and, you know, do the air flare with the Mickey Mouse costume or whatever, you know what I mean? And so I get worried that the brands, because they're going to have a lot of power in terms of money.
Right.
And
do you feel like it will be too commercialized?
I'm worried a little bit about that because here's what happens is if it becomes too commercialized, the money drives like the art in a certain way. I mean, it takes a lot of strength to not go with it. If someone's handing you lots of money and they say just do this, there's not a lot of people that go nah. True. You know what I mean? And if they're saying, you know, I think in a lot of cases it's not going to be in direct contradiction to like your art. But let's say there is some situations, you're gonna probably lose the battle against the money because they're gonna go, yeah, I want to make a living, you know, and who's to blame them? I don't blame them for that. I mean, that's good. I think it's good to make a living on what you love, but I worry that the art and the craft is gonna get kind of hairy a little bit because there's gonna be money involved. I mean, money honestly like messes a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm worried that's gonna start becoming the case because I mean, when I grew up, there like jams, you won like $20 and no one gave a shit about winning. They were just like, we're gonna go to the jam and battle because we want to battle. And then eventually more money started coming in, and then, you know, they made the UDEF thing, and then more brands started coming in, Red Bull, Monster, and whatever. Now you can actually make money, make a living. You know, even some people have like a salary, I think, in some cases. So there's legit money coming in. So now I think it's going to look different.
I agree. I mean,
and I don't want to hate on it. That's the things that I look at.
No, because like you say, the money is the root of all evil. Let's be real.
It could be, yeah, it definitely.
You know? So it's like when they offering you this contract and they telling you to leap, you gonna leap.
Yeah,
if that's a contract for $100,000, you gonna leap.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, so for every, I guess, opportunity, it's something to be taken away as well. You know, it's like always a give and take. So
I feel it's the same thing right now with the industry on even rapping. How that's what they do. Like they give you a contract, they give you $1 million, and then they take half away because you got it on your music video, you got it on this. So
you gotta pay that money back.
Exactly.
A lot of artists don't know that. You gotta pay that money back.
Yeah.
So being independent's kind of the same thing. Maybe they're gonna have contracts. Now they do have contracts being in Red Bull. So it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
So maybe if people think about it, well, I'm just gonna market myself. I'm gonna be the market. So things might change.
Yeah, I put out. The reason I say this is really because I want to put out the message that like getting money and stuff into the scene is a very good thing, but don't sacrifice your art for it. You know what I mean? Just always have that in the back of the mind. The art is really the important thing.
But you know what's very important? That if we have good commentators to explain the art, that's going to be very important.
Not only that, a good judging system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need
they
that.
actually just posted the new judging system.
Yeah.
But
really?
Yeah, we were trying to figure it out.
We were going to have a discussion, like a podcast on it specifically, just the...
You guys definitely should. I'm going to tune in with that too.
Yeah, no, I still got to review a lot of it. He's already done it. So he's kind of... So, but yeah, there's a lot to do. We want to break down everything that's in it and really understand it and how it's going to affect the scene, I guess.
Because that's to be through points. And how we judge through looks. We know what foundation is. We know your style, your originality. So,
because I really get worried that people aren't paying attention to this kind of thing. Like they go, oh yeah, there's a judging system. It's at the Olympics, you know, and a lot of people are like, I wonder what it's gonna look like, and then they walk away. You know what I mean? And then I think no one looks at it and thinks about what's the next step after this. What's the consequences of this? I mean, some people are for sure, but I don't know if it's really being talked about as much as it should. And
it should be very important
should be
because
very
that's what's gonna make the B-boys shine, or who's gonna be in the next.
Right, that's gonna make or break you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The judges is the most important. Like I told them on our podcast, because it makes what the future is gonna be, what a B-boy needs to look like if you want to win.
I agree. And one thing with the judging too, I feel like if somebody in the Olympics is affiliated with Red Bull or Monster, it should be no judges affiliated with that sponsorship.
Yeah. I
like
do think that there's. It's interesting because when you have like money in your pocket from a company, and then like someone who's also affiliated with the company is competing, and then someone also affiliated with that company is judging. It's kind of like the old no rule back in the day where if this is your crew's jam and your crew is judging, you can't enter the jam. You can't enter your crew. You shouldn't enter your crew's jam.
You shouldn't judge
so
if
it's
someone's
like
in your...
Now these brands are kind of like your new crew, I guess.
Literally.
Like you don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to sacrifice that. I guess broke. I don't know what you call it, broke code. I was gonna say the B-boy code of honor.
For real though, it's forbidden.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
should be
forbidden art.
Yeah,
like you don't do nothing.
It's an unspoken rule, but that's really it.
Rule.
That's really it, and it should stick around. You know. So
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, so I get worried about stuff like that. And honestly, we could talk forever about judging because judging,
man.
The more.
What's your opinion of it? Because I know you. I don't know how you grew up to it, because we grew up seeing it more as a cipher. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Your expansion was more, I'm gonna go to a jam. Mm-hmm. So
I feel like in terms of judging, like you guys, it's the hardest job in the world, because it's like, of course you have your preference, and everybody has a preference. So of course, if you like a certain style, you're going to vote for that style if that style is clean, and that's why I think the system comes in handy. Because literally, if you see someone and they're moving the way you like them to move, and the other guy, you like, okay, they're dope, but it's not stimulating to my eyes, their movements, it's just like, I don't know.
But he's doing the criteria.
Yeah,
so
he's still doing
tough.
the criteria. It's tough. It really is.
It is. I mean, because you want to, like, what I get worried about with judging is that if I'm trying to adhere to some system or something, then people are going to want to adhere their breaking to that system. And I don't want to hinder that, like as if I was judging painting, right? And I just happen to really like the color red. So then a bunch of people start painting with red. Now the only people that are winning, the whole scene is painting with red. Whatever happened to the people that were painting with blue or green or whatever? And it's all because the judges just decided, hey, red is the thing that we like the most.
And that's honestly, that's what it is now.
I mean, I think that's what happens.
You just opened my mind in a complete different and that's what I'm like,
that's exactly what I say. The judges matter, because whatever
it matters.
Whatever, it's going to dictate what the B-boys choose. But he simplified it with colors.
This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by Tardiness. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, is that your alarm? Are you supposed to be somewhere right now? Oh, you're too cool to be on time because you have 100 followers on social media? Okay, sorry, carry on. For those of you that do have somewhere to be but decide to still exercise tardiness despite not having a legitimate excuse, I'm here to say, head over to your local shopping department and head to the time-telling device section. Of the wide selection of watches and wall clocks, choose a few of your preference to purchase. Head over to the checkout counter to make your final purchase. Go ahead and grab a container of extra strength adhesive while you are on your way. Take the items home, and once there, use the adhesive to glue the watches to your arms and the wall clocks to your body. And use the remaining adhesive to adhere your eyes open and your lips closed. Have fun with your newfound love of chronometers and adhesives, and next time, be more considerate of other people's time. And now, onto the show.
The judges have different styles, different ways of breaking, so it's fair.
So I've always been kind of a proponent of having more judges than less.
But you know how I wanted it? I always wanted a young kid. I wanted an older cat, and then someone in the middle and someone that's actually is out in the scene.
Yeah.
I always wanted that as a judging thing because it gives you a perspective of everything.
Of all people.
I think, yeah. Well, I think it should be a perspective of all people, which, because, so back in the day, before judging, before you had these competition battles, who was the judges?
Yourself.
It was this crew versus this crew, right? You're battling each other. You don't need a judge to tell you lost because you just get smoked. And then you leave the Roxy and going, I better start training because next time I see that crew, I'm going to get smoked. Or like, yo, we smacked those fools and they're going home and they're saying the same thing. They're saying, man, we got smoked. I mean, like you keep battling until someone like gives up basically. So I look at that and I go, okay, well, that's the real way to battle, I think. So when we bring in these other judges, why is that? Oh, it's because we don't have time to do every single battle in that way. Okay, well, we don't have time for that. Or do we? I mean, in the way that it's set up, these competitions, it's because we want to do this guy versus this guy, then do the next one, do it in a tournament style. But why? I mean, who decided that? I mean, it just kind of, I think someone just had the idea a long time ago and was like, let's do a tournament and then see what happens.
The problem with tournament style too, you can switch the brackets up.
You can switch the brackets up.
You could do it however you want.
You can give certain people a song, like a crappy song or a really good song, and it just dictates how the battle is. So I've been just rolling around with this in my mind, like we kind of arbitrarily decided that a tournament style is the best way to do a competition, but it inherently has nothing to do with the world of breaking. I agree. We just chose to do it. Just somebody had a bright idea a long time ago. You know, I want to say, I don't know, maybe it was freestyle session, maybe it was like battle of the year or whatever. And by the way, you can look at those battles and they've definitely changed how they've structured those battles till now.
It's more of an entertainment.
It used to be you know, battle of the year used to be like a 30-minute battle between two crews, and they only really had two battles, I think. It was the one for the finals and then the one for the third place, and that was it. That was the whole jam, and everyone else did shows. And then it turned into competitions, and so then it was like, you know, eventually we figured out the tournament style. I'm like, what if you did the competition, it has no tournament, it just has who's killing it? And that's kind of like a cypher style thing, but I always go, well, how do you judge a cypher? I mean, you still need judges, right? Well, how do you know you lost a battle? Like, you just feel like you lost it. So if you're being honest with yourself, and I definitely feel like if you had the chance to just battle it straight out, you will be honest, because you will be on the floor gasping for air and know that you just lost.
And that's another good point you make, because a lot of people don't have the rounds to do that nowadays either.
And the battles aren't long enough to even get to that point. So that's why you see a lot of people go like, oh, I got robbed.
Because it's a big round.
But I'm like, because you just did one round against this person. Like, you might as well just showcased, and I did
100 moves.
You did 100 moves, and then it's not a battle anymore. All it is you did your showcase, and you did your showcase, and I'm gonna pick who I thought showcased better. That's literally what the battles are nowadays. So I go like, what if you just said, hey, we're gonna put the DJ on, and he's gonna play the music, or they're gonna play the music, and everybody gets the same music because everyone's dancing to it, and it's just a big ass cypher, and everyone's just in their circles. Everything happens naturally. This circle forms around this battle. This circle forms around this battle. And then who's judging this thing? Everybody's judging it. If you want to be a part of the circle, you're a judge.
Literally.
And guess what? You can't vote for yourself. You vote for somebody else. But hey, now at the end, you have a huge list of everybody who's judging who participated. And you go, okay, well, most of the people said this guy wins or this girl wins. Hey, maybe that's a good way to do it. And you can even have a list of, hey, these 5 people won or whatever. I mean, I feel like that's such a more honest way to do it.
One thing I can say too with battles is a lot of people don't have conversations when they're battling.
Yeah, because it's not long enough.
It's like a cypher, you guys are having a real conversation. You guys are dissecting one another, you know?
They're responding, and most people don't even know how to respond now.
And that's why, you know,
it's dead.
I think the reason for that is because the battles got short, because they're like, oh, we're restricted for time, so we gotta shorten these battles. Okay, so now it's only 1 round each, 2 rounds each. Not enough time to really develop a battle, right? I mean, battles usually don't get going until you're like 3 or 4 rounds deep, right?
Yeah.
So you cut it off before it even got to that point, okay? And now everyone's like, oh,
nowadays don't even got 3.
and and so now they're like, oh, we just got to throw everything in this one round, and now it's just showcase versus showcase. Okay, well, how about we get rid of that idea and let's just let the battles happen. You don't need to battle everybody. You battle the people you want to battle. You know what I mean? And you smoke them or you get smoked, and that's how you decide it.
That'd be a dope concept for a jam.
I really think that's a better way of battling. I mean, the more and more I think about it, I think that should be the real way.
I like that. Like Livy said, y'all should really do.
I'm considering throwing a jam or something to test it out and see what it would take in terms of resources to make it happen. And
on top of that, too, there won't be any politics involved.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And so I think the main thing is you got to make sure that you're not getting a huge crowd of your homies coming in and just like, we're going to vote for him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So my thought with that is the only people that actually can vote are the people that are in the circle.
The spectators.
Like I would say no spectators are voting. It's only the people that are in
the battle
that are dancing.
Okay.
So and you're not allowed to vote for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you have to be honest. I guess you can be dishonest. You vote for the guy that sucks or something. But then maybe everybody has the same idea and votes for the same guy, and then the guy that sucks wins. You'll realize real quickly that that's not a good way to do this, and I think it'll eventually auto-correct itself, I think. But I don't know. I'm trying to think through all the consequences of this to see how you can really get rid of the dishonesty that could be potentially in there, so that it just becomes more of just an honest circle, and
response
that develops battles. Because I don't want to force battles. That's what I hate about it. It's like when they call you up, me versus Livic, like. There's no natural time I'm gonna battle him because he's my homie. I mean, I guess we can battle just for fun.
That's the wackest thing to me. Yeah. When you battling somebody you practice with, you always around.
It's just boring.
It's boring.
Like, and I mean, you have fun because you're like, oh, I know what this guy does. He knows what I'm doing. Right. We're gonna have fun, but like, I don't know.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
And that's why people think it's disrespect when you go to another city and you call out everyone. It's like, bro, I've never seen you. I need to go break with someone else.
Like, literally, that's what I'm here for, to get this experience.
Exactly.
And people don't realize that when you go to a different city and you see these b-boys you never seen before, it's the experience.
Yeah.
It's adapting to a new scene, seeing what they're capable of, what's their specialty, because every scene usually has a specialty, something they're really good at. You know, and dissecting that, bringing it home back to what y'all doing, putting it into your style, coming back, smoking like you got.
Yeah.
It's a forever going circle.
That's Abe. Shout out to Buckingham. I mean, the sax scene was kind of one way, like very trick oriented, and he went out to Florida back in the 90s, learned a lot of like
with Ground Zero.
Beta and Boo Rock and Bebe, all those guys.
Shout out to Bebe. He's one of my favorites.
Bebe is the legend, dude. I mean, all those guys are legends.
Yeah, all legends.
But anyways, he went out there and learned a completely different style of breaking from them, and came back to SAC and was like, hey, we got some holes in our breaking. Like, this is how we, like, check this out. Look at these things I learned out there. And it changed the scene. I mean, it really was him that
Those things matter, Those things matter. Adapting little increments into your style, it can make you look like a whole new b-boy.
Yeah.
And right now, I know you're traveling more, and you haven't traveled, so I know you went to Vegas. How was that?
It was dope. I loved it. Like, the thing about the Vegas scene, too, is they're so welcoming. It's a lot of nice people in the Vegas scene, but I would say with Vegas, their specialty, they're very technical and flow-oriented, So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this, run with it, and mess with it and see what I could do with it, But, I had fun. The scene is dope out there. All high-level guys, all the full force guys.
Are you planning to travel more and battle more?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially next year. This year, it's more preparation than anything. But next year, I'm trying to do some damage. I'm trying to go crazy.
That's
Are you trying to hit like some of the really big jams, like do a BC1 or something?
Oh yeah, I'm trying. One thing I want to do next year for sure, because I probably won't be able to do it this year, is the Massive Monkeys footwork battle.
Oh yeah, that's tight.
I feel like that would be super dope, and I feel like over the years my footwork has really developed into what I want it to be. And that's the best feeling ever, when you train hard enough to see, oh wow, I'm actually liking the way I'm approaching these certain concepts, So
and it just flows naturally.
It just flows exactly. Being one with yourself, being one with your body, be like water.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's tight. I was gonna say something and I forgot. I think it was about Massive Monkeys. I don't remember now.
I went to Massive Monkeys, man. It's a really, really dope jam.
Dope.
Yeah, it is.
I hear nothing but good things about it, you know. So that's one of the jams I definitely want to go to. In Outbreak Europe, I would love to go to Outbreak. Europe one time.
I actually went to the Outbreak in Florida. That's one of the illest jams.
Yeah, the classic.
Ever, yeah.
I remember what I was gonna say. It was Brothers of War. You guys as a crew, I've always said like you guys need to start really getting out because you guys are killing it. And it's kind of only in the Northern California scene and maybe a little bit in Southern California, but like outside of California, I don't think a lot of people know who you guys are and how good you are. And I want to see you guys out in New York smoking those fools. You know what I mean?
I appreciate
out
that,
in wherever, East Coast, Florida, wherever. Like, because there's a lot of like you hear about all these different scenes that have a lot of
Buzz.
a lot of buzz, and they don't realize that people in SAC like are just as good, if not better, and aren't like making the same kind of noise. And I think it's just because you guys aren't hitting these big jams like that.
Like honestly, that's another thing too is in our heads we try to prepare. We think, oh, I gotta get ready, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta go for it.
Yeah.
Even when you think you're not ready, you know, sometimes you just gotta go for the gusto and take that risk. It's like jumping off a cliff. Sometimes either you gonna plummet or you gonna fly. You know, so.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about the crew too? Like I know you guys been together, and you don't see very crews a lot staying together and still in the scene. You guys been for a long time. Respect to that, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's my second family. You know, like I always seen a crew as a brotherhood. You know, I've never like super crews and you know, oh, let's get this best guy from this scene and this guy from this scene that's dominating, let's win everything. It's like, nah, I want to build with people.
Exactly.
I really want to build that connection with somebody. You know, when you're around people that have the same mindset, same motivation, same creativity, it's gonna elevate you either way. You know, you ain't gotta be part of these super crews to make a name. You know, build with your people. That's how you make a name. Build with your people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also you like joining the super crew. I don't feel like it builds to your legacy. It's like
not at all.
Those crews already have a legacy.
Literally.
Like, and so you're just coming in and saying, here, I offer my services to make your legacy bigger.
Literally.
Exactly.
Well, why not build your own legacy?
Right.
You know?
Why not? That's literally like you got Massive Monkeys.
Yeah.
From the ground up. Boogie Bash from the ground. Skill Methods from the ground up.
Yeah.
All these legendary crews. You know, they didn't do that super stuff.
Brothers of War, too.
Brothers of War.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Man.
And that's the thing is like, I'm my brother's keeper. You know, I gotta represent for the ones that believe in me. We all believe in each other.
Yeah.
I don't want to let my brothers down. You know, for real.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
because we don't have that much. You don't hear about crews. It's more about like solo. Oh, you know this b-boy, but who's this crew?
Yeah.
Literally.
I think the importance of crew has become lost in the recent times.
They should have that in the Olympics, actually. Man.
Actually, that really is the way that
because that's what motivated me back then. Like having seen the crews.
But like all the battles in like Battle of the Year were so hype when you see it because you see like 10 people or whatever. I mean, just in a battle, and it's like, you know, you see all these different styles going at it, and you're like, man, this is just crazy. And they, you know, in a crew battle, it's like people aren't really getting tired. They're ready to throw their hottest
and they're pushing you too. Your crew's all like, yo,
yeah.
get
I mean, the
'em.
vibe is just off the charts. I mean, whereas like with solo battles, I feel like it's hit or miss sometimes. You see some really fire battles, but then sometimes it's just like you can tell these guys don't want to battle. They don't care.
For sure.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
It's in their demeanor. You know, you could tell if somebody wants it by how the way they top rocking.
Yeah.
You know?
And
for real.
Breaking always, I feel like it always was a crew thing from the start. You know, like you were with your homies.
Not even
some other guys.
family thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, it's family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
And like you said, I feel like people are missing that. They think a crew is, these are a bunch of guys I can win with. It's like, no, it's not that. It's much more than that. You got to dig deeper.
Yeah.
You create a moment with them, a memory. And then you talk about the whole trip. Oh yeah, I went to exactly.
That's the best part.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh
man.
yeah.
Traveling
the journey,
with the bros,
man.
coming back in the drop. You know, y'all roasting each other, talking about, hey, bro, you was fired up, but you still kill shit. You know, like
exactly.
Like literally, you know, being honest with your bros and just elevating one. It's like being like one thing I like to correlate that to is Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
You know, you training in a hyperbolic time chamber with your brothers and leveling up, and you a Super Saiyan. Now you a Super Saiyan too. Now you a
Let's get it. That's dope.
It's the level up. It's all about the level up and building with your people.
Yeah. I mean, Dragon Ball Z, that was the original crew.
For real.
No, Ninja Turtles was the original.
Ninja Turtles.
That was gang. That's gang right there.
Exactly. Yeah, and they were smoking all the crews too. The Foot Clan. The Foot Clan got smoked. That's a tight ass name, by the way.
Shout out to Raphael, because he's my favorite.
Yeah, Raphael was the best. He for sure was the best. I mean, because he's the
character.
He
was a pizza, dog.
He was the artist. All the rest of the team was like, let's go this direction. He was like, nah, that's the way we gotta go. And he secretly was like kind of getting them to do what he wanted to, because I feel like he was the visionary. Yeah. And you had the other guys that were kind of like, we gotta follow, these other things. But this guy has he's got his eye on something else that's really important. So I don't know. I've always liked Raphael. I feel like
same.
I have like more of a connection to him.
Facts. One thing that inspired me a lot too growing up was the Power Rangers.
Oh,
I love the Power Rangers, so.
The Green Ranger, man.
Yeah, Tommy.
Me too, man. Yeah, me too.
Tommy, yeah, he was the best.
Tommy was that guy.
He changed the game.
You was getting fucked up when that flu came out.
Yeah, everybody wanted to get that. Everyone's gonna.
I think he just wanted to say White Power Ranger.
Oh no!
I don't want that, buddy.
Oh no!
It's love power. It's world power.
Well, he was Green Ranger, and
then
suddenly became the White Ranger.
One thing I liked too was Captain Planet.
Captain Planet was tight. Yeah.
I always liked those shows where it was all the homies and we all had a role, and stuff like that.
Captain Planet had a good concept.
It did, yeah.
It was super dope.
That one kid had a terrible power though. He was like he would like point his ring at the animals, and then they'd start talking to him.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
What did you say?
Talker.
We got to get the guy who actually has powers to do something. Okay.
I know.
Or the animals are just like, oh yeah, they're fucking our forest though. Oh,
okay,
well I literally can't do anything about it, but I'm gonna go tell my homies about it.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Let's go get Captain Planet to actually do something about this.
Man.
But did anything like that type of thing inspire you or give you creativity? Where do you get your creativity from? Do you think so?
I get my inspiration from so many things. It's I feel like one thing as an artist, you should never hinder your creativity. Everything should inspire you.
Yeah.
One thing that really does inspire me a lot though is anime.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love anime. Naruto specifically.
Okay.
You guys know my signature move, my knee spin.
Yeah.
Naruto, he has a move called the Rasengan, and it's like a spiral.
Oh yeah.
And I like to correlate that with my knee spin. I like to think of it as my Rasengan.
That's dope.
Do you ever yell that out? Like you whisper it as you spin?
As I spin?
Rasengan.
It be in my head sometimes.
That's hella tight.
It be in my head sometimes. Literally,
you're hella killing it. You're like, oh, I'm setting this move up right now, and you're like, shit, it's over.
It's over.
I don't think you think about it.
No, I think that's funny.
That is kind of funny, but and certain movements like watching certain animals, how animals move.
Oh yeah.
You could create a lot of stuff. I created a move called the roly poly. Seeing a roly poly roll around, so it's so many creative ways to approach the dance, and that's why I love breaking. You could come at it however you want to come at it. Yeah. It's a foundation, but it's no rules,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there aren't any rules. Yeah, it's kind of funny how we put rules onto it for some reason. Then it gets kind of embedded into the culture, and then I've really been going through this whole thing. Why do we do that in the scene? And I realized, it's just because someone a long time ago just said, hey, let's do this. And then it just kind of got built into it. And we're like, but there's no real reason we need to do it like this. I mean,
it's just an expression of dance. That's it.
Yeah. Of yourself, how you see it.
Yeah.
How you feel it.
And what you created, man. I think that's what's missing a lot in the scene, creativity, man.
I feel like that in repeating is so bad right now.
You can win. It's because you can win from repeating. I think a lot of people just go, I'm out of moves. Let me just repeat the move that won the last one.
Honestly.
And people just close their eyes to it, I think.
I frown upon repeating so much.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially the way I like to approach the dance. I feel like if you're repeating,
you're out of moves.
You're out of moves.
Yeah.
Your context is lackluster in my opinion, you know? So it's like, as an artist, you know, like you're doing a painting, you have different textures, right? You can make different textures out of any movement. You can make 3 or 4 different textures out of one move. Why are you out of moves? You know?
And honestly, you could keep creating at the moment.
At the moment,
exactly.
The music could take you to places to where you won't even understand at the time. You'll look at the footage and be like, "Oh, I did some shit I never did before."
Exactly.
I mean, I honestly think
I'm at that point right now too of my breaking, man. I'm at the point where I create in the moment. Back then, I used to I had thousands of moves, and I'll just combine them as I go. But now I'm more into living the moment now.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the most important.
I honestly think the reason people repeat so much and they bite so much is because people just let them do it. I mean, here's the thing is you might have just did the same round against somebody, and then you do it again, and then you post that video on social media. No one else knows that you just repeated, but they see the battle like, oh, they're killing it. I think that guy won, even though he just repeated that move through the whole thing. A lot of judges don't care, you know. And same thing, like this dude might have bit all his moves from some dude in his town that's like kind of a nobody, and then now he's out there doing it, and they put it on the big screen, and you see it on social media or wherever, and you go like, oh, that's his move. Yeah, but it's like, no, it's not. It really isn't. And I think what sucks about it is like you can't do anything about it. It's like people have to just be honest.
It's horrible because literally, I'm seeing people win, like you say, doing the same. Somebody could do an air shear every round and win a whole competition.
Yeah. They used to, I mean,
it's true.
I'm like, what's going on here? Where's the creativity at? You know, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just get away with it. That's all it is.
It's because social media, it's out there, man.
The culture drives it all because, like, if we didn't let it slide, if there was a big movement in it to not let it slide, I think it would stop.
But back then, you guys didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Back then, you guys didn't let it slide.
If you're a biter, you're a toy.
It's like nowadays, like when people.
There was more fear of it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get clowned on.
You're going to get beat up.
You get beat up if you bite. I mean, I've seen a lot of fights happen from bites, and it's like you learn real quick, hey, biting is a no-go.
You're taking a part of me.
Yeah.
You're literally taking a part of me.
I remember when I first started breaking, me and Vince brought a camera to a practice. And, like, mind you, I'd only been breaking for, like, couple months, 6 months at the most, and we bring the camera in, and then people are just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're trying to bite us or whatever? Like, what's this camera about? And like people are like really trying to like almost fight us and stuff. We're like, what? I'm just 14 years old, 13 or whatever the hell. I just have a camera like trying to film me break, and they're like, no, dude, put that away. And it's like, okay, I'll put it away. Like, and you learn real quick, oh, it's because they're trying to preserve their moves. They don't want people biting. They don't want the footage to get out and stuff. Yeah, nowadays I don't think people.
It's because a lot of people don't speak on it, and I think
they
try to be cool. Yeah, they don't. Like they don't. They're cool with the b-boy. They just meet him, but they're like, just because he's getting famous, I'm not gonna tell him he's a biter. Like, yo.
And shout out to my crew member Ant, because he'll go up to somebody, be like, bro, that's why you doing that person's move.
Yeah,
yeah, I keep it real, man.
Yeah, like,
it's important. I mean, it really is important because, like, if we want a healthy culture, and I think a healthy culture is that we're promoting creativity over other, over winning like a battle or whatever. So I do think it's healthy to say that. I don't think you got to be mean about it, but I think you definitely want to say, hey, you really shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, and also I think when a b-boy is coming up and they starting to get hot and start to come up, people think, oh, he's the new hotness. Let me grab what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Let me grab his concept.
And then you see a lot of people start breaking like that. I mean,
it's a wave.
I hate to say it, but
it's true.
Yeah, but this is the King Wave, the King of Waves.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you how it is.
No, what I was gonna say is, you see it a lot in the mainstream like competitive scene. Is like every year or two, like there's a big shift and everyone starts doing like different moves. A lot of different things start getting popular, and you can kind of trace it back to a specific battle or a specific couple people that were really hitting those moves hard at that time, and then you start realizing, oh yeah, this is a direct correlation back to biting. people biting this and realizing this is the thing to win battles. And that's why I say we got to change the culture around battles because that's what's in the mainstream. So I feel like if we start getting rid of, you know, these things that kind of are just arbitrarily in the competitive scene and start doing something that's more in line with the way breaking truly is, I think we'll start seeing some more change.
I agree, because, you know, seeing these guys and, you know, they win, you're going to be like, okay, I want to do their stuff. But they don't realize that person got in the position they in, creating what they're doing, creating their own style. You're not going to, you know, get to where you want to be taking the next guy's stuff. Well, sometimes you can, because it is a few people that have. I'm not gonna say no names, but if you do, you lucky. But you know, the pioneers of the dance, they really created from the ground up. That's how they really got noticed.
Exactly.
You know,
and sometimes it gets misunderstanding because the homie that you entered with over there in Vegas, well, he came over here one day to Renegades, and he does a move kind of like what I do. I call it the tornado tap. You know, the one.
The tap, the double tap windmill.
And I never seen him do it. So everybody's like, oh, look, he bit off you. And I told him, nah, he's never seen me. I've never seen him, but I remember when he came to Renegades, everybody was telling me, why are you calling him out? But I'm cool with him. I met him. Right. But everybody, when, you know, they saw my move, they thought it was,
And
you ain't gonna battle though.
That's another thing too, is like, sometimes you do create the same move as somebody. It's fairly rare.
It does happen.
It's fairly rare, but it does happen.
Mine looks a little bit different, but it's but it kind of looks the same.
And that's another thing too. I think body type is important as well on how moves look. Like somebody will do a move, and just because of their body type, it will look a whole different texture, a whole different way.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, that just reminded me of something from a long time ago, which I feel like probably needs to be said. Is because like, I remember a long time ago, my old crew, they would go like, oh, you break like Fleet Rock. Because I think me and him have kind of a similar body type. And like, oh, you break like Fleet Rock. And I remember just being so goddamn offended by it. I was like, dude, I don't break like this. Like, I hate this. Like, but I mean, Fleet Rock is dope as shit.
Yeah, he's
right?
But don't compare me to the next man.
Well, no, I was super offended because I was like, no, I don't break like this guy, and I don't watch him. I'm not trying to do anything. Like, I don't study. I don't do anything like him. Like, so it bothers me that you think that I break like him, and so I was super offended by it. And then I was thinking about it, like, nowadays, if someone said that to like a younger b-boy, they'd probably think it's a compliment, because they're like, oh yeah, Fleet Rock is dope as shit. Like, I'm glad I break like him. Like, no, dude, that's bad. Like, that's bad. And no knock to him, he's dope.
Yeah,
but I want to be dope in my own way.
In your own way. And that's another thing. I hate when people compare me to other b-boys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yes.
Especially when because with b-boys, some b-boys are athletes, some b-boys are artists, you know? And for me, I take the art form very seriously. I like to create my own movements. So don't compare me to no other b-boy.
Exactly.
I don't break like him.
Yeah.
I don't move like him, you know?
Yeah. Like, it should...
It's because I think they have...
They don't... This.
Yeah, but they don't have that open mind. I think people that do that, they don't understand what the art is. I think
the point of it. The point of it.
Be considerate.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, the point of it is to be different, and so like, yeah,
literally,
I think that's why we're doing it.
That's
why it was so offensive to me back then. I was just like, what?
You have the right to be.
Yeah, so,
you know.
I mean, but I also looked at it like, okay, then I need to really differentiate myself from this guy for sure. Because
that's another thing too. When someone, you know, walks up to you and be like, "Oh, that's kind of similar to so and so," at least you know you can flip it and make it look a little different. But still, I still find it kind of rude.
It's definitely hard to know about everything that's going out there. So you could definitely be throwing moves and it looks like something else that's out there, and you just don't even know about it. And then someone tells you, and you go, "Oh yeah." I think you have a responsibility to then make sure that you're in your own lane, like change it up to look, you know.
And I feel like that's unique. The best part about actually watching footage is not to bite. It's showing you what to be different, to come at approach shit differently. If everybody is doing a certain move, I'm gonna be like, okay, let me switch it up. I'm gonna mess with this move or approach it differently. Yeah. You know, be different, be unique.
Yeah. You know, I like to watch footage from like an outside perspective, like as if I was looking at art, like painting. Like because I really like it when there's just a song I've never heard, and then I just see someone like really kill it, and I go, wow, like you can really feel the energy that they put into it. And I would say that it's pretty rare that I find like a clip of something like that, but there's a lot of times, yeah, you'll see something and it's like, that's inspiring to me to see someone just really like kill it like that.
You know how I see it? I see it. I'm a trip. I see it and I'm already creating what I'm seeing.
I remember you told me that at the jam. You seen somebody do something. Yeah. You were like, he gave me an idea. And I seen you in a cypher. I was like, oh, he's probably messing with it.
Yeah. So that, to me, when I see something, I see it more as in a creative aspect. Like when I see, I don't watch the b-boy of what he's doing. More so of what I'm creating.
That's tight.
So that's why.
For me, since I have such a battler approach, I watch people to see what they're not doing, you know?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like, I really like to dissect people. Like, if I see you doing power, guess what? I'm going to dance.
Yeah.
You know, I see you doing footwork. All right, I'm going to throw some shoulder halos.
you
know, it's like knowing what moves can correlate and switch the momentum of the battle is important, you know?
Yeah, it's important to really like, I mean, yeah, I think in a battling aspect is like really understand what is being thrown at you and what's not.
The art of war.
Yeah, it is the art of war.
The art of war.
Yeah,
that's my favorite type of art.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
Because he's a brother of war.
Brother of war.
There you go.
Shout out to Ant, shout out to Kobe, shout out to Zeph. You know?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Sean, OG, you know.
Yeah. Well, dope, dude. We're hitting like an hour, man, so we should probably close this show up.
Okay.
So, I guess, like one last thing. Do you have any other like creative hobbies?
Honestly, breaking and music is really the main two. But when I was little, that's why I like anime so much. I would draw a lot of anime.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was my first love is drawing, and it would be all freehand. So
yeah.
Oh damn.
And so did that kind of open you into like the creative world?
Oh, for sure. I feel like any art form is gonna open your mind to new perspectives. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just love all art forms.
Yeah.
I feel like, why not try out something new? Why not test something out, see if you really like it? You know, you never know. That might be, because in this life, of course, you know, growing up, parents will be like, you got to do this or you got to do that. Yeah. But as you grow up, you really just, you know, you start to adapt the things you really love doing. And then they see that and they're like, oh, you actually doing something with it. And then, you know, so, you know, I just feel like always do what you love. Always find your expression. Always find your way. Even when people are telling you to go a different direction. Always follow your heart, you know?
Yeah. No, that's important.
That's what makes you happy, man.
Yeah. Well, it makes, I think exploring is like important to creativity, because like if you have just a wild idea, you might as well just see what happens with it. I'm like, people always say I'm crazy because I just throw stuff out at the wall to see what happens, and they go like, just shut up, dude. Like a lot of times when we're like trying to make up some show or whatever, I'll just be like, hey, what if we did this? And they go like, shut up, you're crazy. Like, we're not gonna do that. But I'm like, but that's how I've always created stuff. I just think of something wild and I go, what happens if you do that? And I think it's maybe because I grew up that way. My mom is an artist. My dad, you know, he's a pretty creative person. They always tried to not, they tried to push towards like, hey, don't
force it.
Yeah, don't force something, or it's like you do, like you want to not stifle some kind of thing. You want to encourage it. That's what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the same how my mom always supported me on my dancing, and I keep doing it. She even tells me sometimes like, why haven't you been dancing? Or awesome. So she's very supportive because she knows it's an outlet. Yeah, and that's what it is. It makes you escape from the world and you just focus on one thing. Same thing as rap, music, writing. So it makes you escape and you can express it.
Right. You create your own world.
Exactly.
Know? That's the best part.
Well, dope, dude. This has been great. Any last words? Where can people find you?
King Wavy 916, you know, YouTube, IG, all that stuff. I just want to say shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for coming, man.
This is dope. I enjoyed this a lot. Shout out to my crews, Brothers of War, Fallen Kings. You know, shout out to Skills Over Hype. You know, oh yeah, we got a jam coming up, Too Saucy.
Yes.
Coming up next weekend. Be there. It's gonna be dope. Well, yeah. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to the scene. Shout out to the scene. I love all you guys.
You just released the album, right? Like a couple months ago.
Yeah. No, Monumental. Yep.
Monumental. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's got the.
The monument.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah,
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. So check that out. It's on your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
King Wavy 916.
Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, on Spotify. Yeah. Dope. Check the podcast out on those platforms as well. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. What else? We got some other stuff. Stitcher.
TikTok.
We got a TikTok. There's nothing on it though.
Tap in.
Tap in.
Tap in.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry the show sucks. Peace.
We out.